Niagara Falls State Park.
We got Julie at the wheel over there. Dad's over here doing some vlogging. We just crossed the Niagara River outside of Buffalo, New York, and we are going to Niagara Falls today as an entire family. We're about 4 miles out or so. Looking forward to this one. So we are officially in the park. Quite often I'm asked if this is a national park or not. Technically, if you could read the sign, it was a state park. As a matter of fact, it's the oldest state park in our nation's history. It is a heritage site, so in a loose affiliation, the National Park Service does oversee this entire corridor to preserve its history, but it's not one of the 400 plus National Park designated sites. Let's find a spot to park the car. We are on the American side of Niagara Falls right now. You can see right there, Rainbow Bridge. That's the bridge to Canada, to the Canadian side. We might be heading over there later on. Kind of a complicated story. I'll save that for later.
We're right here and we gotta get to ticketing, to Maid, and then final destination.
So a couple observations right off the bat here as we are approaching the Maid of the Midst ticket center. It's a Monday. I don't know if that matters in the summertime, but it's still jam-packed with people. So if you don't like crowds, it might not be the place for you. Although I heard the crowds are even worse on the Canadian side. And number two, there's a lot of signs. So if you got to find your way around, there's people there for information and a lot of arrows directing you to the destination of your desire. We are approaching now Maid of the Midst. This is our primary and our first activity here in Niagara. You can see over here on the immediate left, the American side. There's Horseshoe Falls, that's the Canadian side. All those buildings are in Canada. Maid of the Midst is going out pretty soon. If you leave the Canadian side, you wear red ponchos. If you leave from the American side, you wear the blue ponchos. If I remember correctly, last time we were here, we left the Canadian side and we had blue ponchos on. Check out this picture. Maid of the Midst! Best bull ride in the world! That was awesome. You saw Niagara from the base of the falls. Here's a look at the top from the New York side. If you're wondering about the water flow over this fall on the American side, about 75,000 gallons per second. So our next step now is to try to get into Canada, which normally is not too hard if you have passports. We have 6 passports, actually 5 passports, not one for Shane. We just realized about 2 days ago that Kayla's has expired. I hope we can get into Canada right now with 4 passports and 1 expired passport. I know the Canadians are big fans of America's parks, so this should be no problem. We are on the Rainbow Bridge right now. You can see Niagara Falls off to my left over there, making our way into Canada. And it looks like walking is the way to go, man. Would you check out all this traffic coming back into America? Wow. I think, like you said, it's going to be in this side, and then we're just going to do a U-turn and be booted out that side and say, you guys are all deported from Canada after your 30-second stay. We are officially in Canada right now. We actually made it across. The expired passport was not a problem since it was recently expired. The problem was getting Shane in without any documentation at all. He took us across the street. Another nice lady took care of us. They did some verification to make sure that he was our son. We should have brought his birth certificate. Thankfully, we found a card, a health card with his name on it. That was good enough. They let us into Canada. I just hope now we can get back into America. You know what a barrel is? A barrel? Like a big garbage can?
Yeah.
A long time ago, people would go inside wooden barrels and throw themselves into the river upstream and go over Niagara Falls in a wooden barrel.
Why?
You believe that?
They survive? No.
Because that was the thing, that was a fun thing to do, that's why.
But they can survive.
And most didn't survive, nope. A couple would make it, but most would die.
I thought that was fun.
Well, people do crazy things that look like fun, but sometimes you put your life in jeopardy to do it.
How much of percent survived?
I don't know, we gotta look that up when we get home. I think very few. So it's time to end the debate. Which side is prettier at Niagara Falls?
Canada.
Canada.
Canada. Canada.
It's unanimous. I agree. If you could deal with the crowds and more of a consumer mentality here, almost feels like you're in Vegas on the Canadian side. Definitely much more commercial here, but Canadian side, I think it's much prettier. So now we're gonna head over to that bridge over there, all the way down, across the bridge, back to the American side, get in our car, and get some dinner. All right, it's good to be back in the USA. It's actually a little more difficult getting into America than it was getting into Canada, believe it or not, because you didn't have that birth certificate for Shane. That was a lesson learned. We're gonna wrap it off right now, close it down. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you liked our presentation of Niagara Falls. There's still some other things you could do if you choose to come here, but we did a couple of the big ones. Definitely got some good views of the waterfalls themselves. If you haven't done so yet, we'd appreciate it. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, from Buffalo, New York, there's always room for you on our next National Park adventure. It's time to get some dinner.